Let's take a look at CodeSkulptor and how to use it and how it is a little different than the other environments we've been using to code in Python. So if I go to my Chrome and I type in py3.codsculptor.org, or of course you can follow links to get here, but that is the website. It's CodeSkulptor 3 because it's using Python 3. And the first thing you might see is a bunch of code that maybe if you look at it for a little bit looks a little funny because it has things in it that you don't recognize. But before we look at that, let's just look at how this in general works. Once you type your code, you can hit the run button. If you ever get stuck, you can reset it so that it goes back to not running, like if the program freezes up. And then here's the really important part. When you save your work, well, first of all, if I leave CodeSkulptor, I'm going to lose my work. Just to give an example here, if I delete all of that and I type in print hello world, and then let's just say I accidentally hit the back button. If I go forward, is it going to be there? No, it's not. It's gone. If I was to close the tab, of course it will be gone because it doesn't auto save. So anything that I type, it's not immediately going to be there. So when you hit the save button, which you're going to want to do, a lot of people will sometimes like come into their code and highlight it and copy it just to make sure too that if you ever needed to paste it, it would be there. But I hit the save button, and how does it save? It saves it with a website address. So if you copy and paste this and put it in a Google Doc, in a email to yourself, you can bookmark it, and then you can always get back to it, right? So if you bookmark it and say whatever the name of the program is that you're working on, graphics one or something like that, then you have a bookmark that you can go back to every time whenever you want to work on it. So that might be a nice way to do it, but you have to make sure that you do this. And now let's just say I make a change to it. So I'm just going to put, because I want to show you this code in just for just a second, so I don't want to erase it. But let's just say I put some, comments here to not forget. And then I hit the save button again. If you look it up here, it'll, user 305, this is all randomly generated. This last part, _0, is what's going to change. So if I hit save, now it's changed to _1. So every time you make a save to your most recent stuff, make sure you hit the save button, and then you know that you have different versions of it. And then if I know that, I can go back, I want to go back to, version 0, and it will go back to version 0. Or I want to go to version 1, so I changed it back to a 1. Because once it's been generated, it'll be there. And see, there's the comments there. If you are getting so many of these because you've done 10 million tries of making your code work and you don't want the teacher or anybody else to see that this number is really high, you can always say new URL and it will give you a brand new one without that on it. But of course you'll want to save that one. And if you ever want to download your code, you can do that too, and it will download it as a text file that you can save. Oh, actually, one more thing before I go, and that is the join button. This is new, actually, so I almost forgot about it. But you can share your code with people now. So if I click on join, and I can just say, EC code, you can just make this up. Oh, no, sorry. That's not what you want to do. You want to just leave it blank. And you say OK. And now it's going to give you a session ID. And you can just click on that to copy it. If you ever need me to look at your code with you, you can do this. You can click to copy, and then you can send me or a classmate this code, and then you can both be typing on it at the same time. Now, it's tricky to type code at the same time because you don't want to be erasing each other's variables and various things like that, or somebody just hits run in the middle of it. I would recommend being on a video conference or something with somebody when you do that, but it's really nice that you can do that, and then I can just hit the leave button, and then I have it to myself again. They're not allowed to get on it anymore. So that's the join button, and it's really handy.